Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are doing the White Forest deck profile. This is what I'm currently playing. I know this isn't max rarity. As you can see, the Stellar is not QCR. We did sell all the QCRs while they were peaking so that we could build our dream computer, which was very expensive, but we got that done and I'm glad we did it when we did it because prices now are just insane. But this is also on the Sleeve Chief White Forest mat for any of those that are wondering, but this is the deck that I'm going to be taking probably into the future. Of course, it'll change in tech choices and format changes and this and that, but I wanted to show you guys kind of the premise and the reasons why we do and play certain things. So without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to go with arguably the best starter in the deck. This is a Stellar, which now that Droll is limited to 2. Not that we won't see Droll, but this plays around Droll. This plays around the Perulia because this deck just folds to Perulia. It folds to, you know, Fualos as well. But there's ways we can play around the Perulia, but Perulia still hurts. A Stellar is just arguably kind of the best starter in the deck. So, you know, we played at 3. This is a 60 card pile, by the way. And then just 2 Sylvie. We want to see the Stellar more, but we also definitely want to see the Sylvia as well. Then we have LZ, arguably the second or third best starter in the deck. It can search the Sylvie, it can search Racia, which we do play the one of. It can search the Azamina LZ. It can kind of search what we need to. It can also search the Diabelze of the White Forest. Just a good combo enabler for whatever we're kind of missing or need, because what you'll see in this deck is that we kind of run into having more than what we need if we're able to pop off. And then 3 the field spell, because, you know, field spell, I would rather see the field spell than nothing at minimum, because at least with the field spell I have combos and a pretty strong end board that I can put up with just this, as long as that's able to go through. And then just 1 tails, as long as we can get started, everything recycles itself, things are, you know, going. Once the game is started, it's hard to stop. So we just need the 1. And that's it for the White Forest. Small little, well, I say small, but little engine. And then for the Sinful Spoils, we got the 2 Diabell Stars with the 3 Wanted. So essentially we play, you know, 6 Witches for the Sinful Spoils package, and then just the 1 Deception and 1 Hollowed. I contemplated going 2 Deceptions, kind of playing around with the idea, still kind of testing with that. And then the 1 Morian. The Morian you always have to play. This card comes in clutch. It's able to recycle itself. It's a Sinful Spoils. It Book of Moons a card. It does a lot. You can dump it and then it can set itself, because with an end board you're probably gonna set it anyways. Really good card. And then for our small little, I don't even know what you call this, and the little Vengeance package, the 1-in-1, that's all you need, and then the 1-in-1, that's all you need. As long as you can get this, I mean, just these 2 on an end board is still crazy, because Vengeance being able to target pop, and then you can either summon Poplar because of it, or you can summon Silvera, the Book of Moon, because of it, and you buy yourself at least a turn or stop your opponent altogether. So definitely a package you always want to get going. And speaking of getting things going, we also play the Toy Engine, because it just allows you to, you know, keep going. We play the Witch package, so if we see, you know, Wanted plus this, we're full comboing. And this enables us to get, you know, a couple level 4s on the field as well. They're lights. So if we have any of the Azamina monsters, we can make Chaos Angel a lot easier. This also gives us a little extra levels if we need to get to Chen-Ying, which, spoiler alert, we also do play. But also to this package alone, like 2 toy boxes is also a full White Forest combo. So it's definitely a good package, especially since we're playing 60 cards. We want to see as many combo enablers as possible. This allows us to do that. And then what I'm kind of debating on between this and Fiendsmith. The only thing with Fiendsmith is that it adds more monsters to the main deck, where this adds more spells. but we do play a small Cashier package with 3 field spell, the 1 Birth, the 1 Unicorn, and then just 2 Fenrir. It's a small package, but it gets the job done because we do play also to the 1 Set Rotation and Terraforming, just so that we can for sure enable that we can play White Forest. The whole point of this deck is that it's 60 cards, yeah. We don't play a lot of hand traps, but we play a lot of combo pieces. So if I got 6 cards in my hand and every single one of those cards is a starter or combo enabler or extender or whatever, I can play the game. And I'm just trying to guarantee that I can play the game. And if I can outplay through my opponent's stuff and they run out of, you know, interactions, and I'm able to still set up a board, clear the board, go battle phase, full combo, and maybe not kill, but set up, you know, some control, cool. Especially in this format, given that like the extra deck is so important, sometimes just like Kashtira on your turn, you know, with the Unicorn. Yeah, I mean, Unicorn plus Birth sometimes can do a lot, especially because now we've got the Branded Draco Tail deck and they go Branded Fusion. You can target your 3 pieces in their graveyard and banish. Unicorn can rip, you know, whatever essential piece that they need in there. So yeah, rotation, terraforming, and the small Kashtira package because you need 2 field spells anyways. This can also be interruption. I've had a few games in testing where set rotation was actually a nice interruption, just because I was able to set 2 field spells and interrupt their field spell, because for a field spell to resolve, it needs to stay on the field, just like a continuous spell. So just kind of, you know, a little nod to that. And then continuing with the combo enablers, we just played the 2 Foolish Burial Goods. This is here for a couple reasons. One is for the Black Goat Laughs, which we do play, which I'll show you guys later. But this also starts the little Vengeance package, so we can dump Curse with this, Curse search Philia, Philia search Diabells, Diasbells, summon or pitch summon, and then send Vengeance, and then we're able to get Vengeance out, and at least we're able to do that. So we don't need to go too hard with, you know, a million different combo pieces, but this, a 2 of, when it comes up, it is nice, but this also allows us to pitch anti-spell, because Diabell, the Queen Diabell, can target any spell or trap in the grave and add it to hand. So there is a few times where I did get it to where, you know, game 2 or 3 or whatever, I pitched the anti-spell because my opponent interacted with me, or, you know, whatever the case is, and I was able to get that to send anti-spell from the deck, and then Diabell special summon, target, and add anti-spell back to hand. So yeah, definitely a fun deck. And then just kind of like a combo enabler, but extender as well. Forbidden Droplet. This one's a funny one because if we Toy Box plus this, Droplet can send the Soldier and Tank to grave, and then when Soldier special summons itself, you search the Sylvie. But you're also getting a negate out of it. Forbidden Droplet is also nice because when you need to hit certain pieces, or you don't want your opponent to respond to something, we have spells, we have traps, we have monsters, there's a lot of stuff we can pitch. So the Forbidden Droplets I think are gonna stay. I'm testing this, and then also too trying to fit Forbidden Crown in there. I don't own Forbidden Crown yet, but we are testing on the simulator just to see like where it would fit, what we'd want to take out, what we want to put in for it. You know, just kind of fitting it inside the deck. But right now Forbidden Droplet is still nice because you can hit whatever, and it non-target as well. So yeah, Forbidden Droplet still a GOAT card. And then we got our 3 Sales Band. Like I said, I'm never taking this out of the deck, probably because we want to fill this deck with as many spells and traps as possible. And this is just a funny card because we can know, like, I mean, breaking into a board or just calling Droll just to be safe, so we know that they don't have the Droll, or Imperm or Ash Blossom, whatever we're scared of at that moment given the hand. It's a protection, but also a board breaker as well. And Sales Band is just really good card. And then going into that, we play the 3 Triple Tactics Talents. We got a lot of normal spells in the deck. We can search Terraforming. We can do the Talents. We can just grab and set Black Goat Laughs. We can also grab Tails of the White Forest. There's quite a few things like to enable combos as well, and like this is also like low-key a starter, but yeah, just triple thrust, always good because of our side deck as well. The 1 talent and the 1 cold bite because we're allowed 1 and 1, why not? 2 Black Goat Laughs because Black Goat Laughs is Black Goat Laughs. And whether we set it, whether we banish it, doesn't matter, it's a really good card. Now, finishing up the traps, evenly matched. Not a lot of people, like I said in my previous video, can deal with evenly matched. So just maining 2, again, in a 60 card pile, we're probably not gonna see it, but just to have the ratios or just to be able to thrust into it, it's just good to have that option, especially because we do play 3 Fuelos as well. So if we end up drawing a bunch of cards because we lost die roll and one of the cards we drew wasn't evenly or both evenlies, then we definitely have a really good solid fighting chance of breaking into the board, setting up our board, and just winning that off the rip. So that is it for the main deck. Now for the side deck, this is also still, I'm kind of playing around with because there's like 2 different versions you can play with, but I think I'm gonna stick to kind of this one because I'm liking it the most in testing. So you play your White Forests, right? This you have to play. If you're playing White Forest, you're playing this. Just because this is like necessary. This is combo piece, this is disruption, board breaker, and this is the boss monster. And then for our Azaminas, not a lot of people play it, but we play Soul just because this will target send something to the graveyard. And then 9 times out of 10, I use one of my level 4 lights to make this, or the level 4 light plus this into the Light and Darkness Chaos Angel to target banish another card, so another form of removal. The Moa does a lot of things. Saint is the funniest and best boss monster I love because your opponent will sit there and just question, well, I can't do that, and they'll end up doing something, and you gotta pay attention to if they gotta target something. Moo's Searcher, you gotta have her, and then our Omni Negate. And yes, this is the secret, and this is the stamped edition, whatever it is from that limited edition World Championship packet. This rarity I'm proud of. And then little packages, we do the the Poplar, the Vengeance, because you kind of have to. This is nice disruption because Poplar just synchro summons with whatever's on field. So if one of the Kashtira's is still on field and Unicorn already got its effect off, you can do this Tuner, which is level 4, and Unicorn, and then you can synchro it into Pep, Psychic and Punisher. So just know that Poplar allows you to synchro summon. Actually, I think it makes you, yeah, you just synchro summon with this card, so good on that. And then we do play Doomed, kind of hit or miss on this. Right now in testing, I am liking it because it does give us good follow-up because we just put the 2 in the spell and trap zone and they count as spells and traps. So if we run out of things to like pitch or send for whatever reason, we still have like resources to keep going. And then this just target monster on the field and put it in the spell and trap zone, your opponent. It's also a 3K body, so I just like being able to have a good amount of like set up a good board, but also to break into a board type of deal. And then our casual synchros, Light and Darkness Chaos Angel, Pep, because we will be below our opponent's life points, equal to as well, equal to or less than. And then Chen Ying. Chen Ying, cannot tell you how great this is in testing. I've been playing with Chen Ying in the deck for some time now. This guy can get pretty beefy, but also to his effect, a lot of people don't read. Really good effect. And then our last bit is Baguska. I hate Baguska, but if we end up getting drolled or we end up getting fucked or put in a position where all we can do is put out our 2, Toy Soldier and Tank, or Sylvie and Rusia, or we can't do much, but we can definitely get 2 level 4s. We just gotta buy a turn. Baguska buys us a turn, buys us some time, and then flip into attack, and then we just full send. And that is it for the extra deck. Now for the side. The side is also too kind of a work in progress, still testing with the new format, just being so new. So it's just kind of more of a generic side, but I feel like this kind of covers a good amount of what we want to cover. So we've got the one solemn judgment, again, to put us way below our opponent's life points, but also to hit those key pieces if we couldn't already, like the branded fusion, the, you know, the pieces that would be disruption, like the Dark Ruler No Mores, or whatever the case is. We have a judgment. We can also, again, with the same thing I said with the anti-spell, we can pitch judgment and then add it back to hand with Diabell. You know, we can do funny things in this deck. The anti-spell, and then the graveyard disruption, like I was saying in my previous video with Dimension, but also to Daruma Karma Cannon. This is mostly for Lunalight, just because this affects the player. So as much as your opponent wants to argue, they will be sending their Liger to the graveyard. And then Azamina Apps. This card is crazy, and I don't think many people talk about it. It is a White Force card, and it is an Azamina card. And if it's pitched, it can set itself. But whether you've got field or graveyard, let's say your opponent clears your whole fucking board, but you've got like 5 of the fusions and synchros in your deck, and I think it's like Fiend, Illusion, and Spellcaster, or whatever it is, you can target those many cards on the field and bounce them back to hand. Which is crazy. It's just a crazy card, and I like having this as an option going first, because it just adds that extra interruption, like, okay, you cleared my board, or you negated everything, or whatever, cool, I can still, in the battle phase, or whenever I deem necessary, bounce that many cards. It's usually like, if you go full combo, like 5 bounces, so it's pretty crazy. And then for more board clear going second, we just add 2 Dark Ruler No Mores. I don't really like Dark Ruler No More this format, just because of Flame, and there's a few other things that can negate this, or decks that really don't care about this. But it's nice to have in case you run into like Rogue or whatever the case might be. And then the 30 Evenly Matched, just to guarantee that hopefully we see evenly matched. And then the 1 Subversion, just in case you run into like Pendulum decks, or I always just side this in going second anyways as well, because it's another Sinful Spoils card. We can search it, we can set it, we can pitch it, we can use it as fusion material, but it also puts, like, if you got to deal with the Mirror Jade, it puts it in the back row, and they can't summon another Mirror Jade. Good going second. And then of course, being a huge pile deck, in case you run into anything, we run the 3 Meows. Never know what deck's gonna run into, but we run 3 of every chummy. And just because I would rather, if I hit Memento or Canine or Vanquish Soul, whatever the case is, I make sure that I got a chummy available to me that I can put in there, and I'm going to guaranteed get draws. Because in this pile deck, especially this deck, if I get more cards in my hand, some people may think, oh, I'll take the challenge, or, you know, this or that. I have so many combo enablers or starters, or if you put all my searchers in my hand and I'm able to just pop off because of that, there's no stopping me, buddy. I'm going to pop all the way off, and it is going to be a nightmare for you. But yeah, so that is the White Forest deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is definitely my pet deck. It's my favorite deck. The deck does a lot. It's only getting better because nothing's been hit on it. Droll went to 2. This is definitely a strong tier 2 deck. It has a crazy amount it can do. I mean, just the extra deck alone, right? Being able to have so many, like, you can go fusion heavy, you can go synchro heavy with, you know, Pep and Chaos Angel. There's a lot of variations to it. And, you know, if you're one to like a toolbox kind of deck, this is that deck. There's a lot of things it can do in different situations. There's different ways to get to where you need to go. But yeah, that's all I got, guys. I hope you enjoyed the profile, and if you guys have any questions, leave in the comments below. Until next time, guys, peace.